Hi, my name is Sharita, and I'm coming to you once again with my channel College101. Today's video is part 2 in choosing a career. Last week we talked about doing informational interviews and how that can help you research a career and choose a career. This week we're going to be talking about personality tests that can help you with choosing a career. However, before I continue, I just want to clarify some things from the last video that I would like to go over with you. Last week I used the example about how you can choose your career based on your interest or your skills, and I used myself as an example, saying that I'm interested in art and basketball, but I'm not skillful in those. And I feel like I kind of left you guys hanging with that. I didn't clarify further. Just because you're not skillful in something does not mean that you cannot go on and do something in that related profession. Now, art and basketball takes talent as well as skill, and I don't have those, but that doesn't mean, like, say for art, I couldn't be an art historian, or I couldn't work in a museum that has a lot of art. I could still go into something related to the profession. Same thing with the basketball. Maybe I know enough to be a coach, or maybe I might go into physical therapy or sports medicine or something like that. I could still go into something that reflects my interests even though I don't have the skills. And I don't want you to be deterred from going into something because you don't have the skills, because a lot of times you're going to college in order to get the skills in doing something. So I just wanted to clarify that issue for you. The other thing I wanted to clarify is I told you to, when doing your informational interviews, when you're asking about salary, you want to look at the average salary versus the median salary. Real quick, the difference between those. The average salary, let's say they take 100 people in a certain profession and they get their salaries, and what they do is they add up all those salaries, and then they would divide it by 100, and whatever that number is, that is the average. Now that number can be skewed if someone is making a whole lot more than most people, or if someone is making a whole lot less. It's basically an average, so that number can be easily skewed. The median number is, say they took those same 100 people, they took their salaries and they lined them up in order, and then whoever the 50th person was, that's the median. So that's the median number. So basically with the median, there are 50 people who could make more than this number, and there's 50 people who typically make less than this number. So the median is right in the middle for you, okay? So I hope that clears up anything regarding the differences between average salary and median salary. And that's why it's important to have a good background in math. Like I said, math is going to follow you around in just about everything you do. One other thing I want to clear up on is I talked to you during the informational interviews about asking about related careers. I used the example of nurses. I was trying to think of a better example to use. I really can't come up with another one other than something that is reflective of myself. I told you guys last time that I'm an optometrist, an eye doctor, and probably what most of you guys think I do is just prescribe glasses and contacts, and a lot of us do that, but we also treat eye diseases as well. But as an optometrist, you can get into specialized areas. There are certain people who just strictly treat a whole lot of eye diseases. There are also people who strictly do contact lens, that's their specialty. There's also optometrists who work with people who are legally blind, that's their specialty. Or there are people such as myself who work with a pediatric population and work with them on improving their vision. So you can get into specialized areas, so within a certain profession. So you want to ask them, what else can I do in that profession? Also, if you are, I wanted to say, ask what related professions are too, because say if you're interested in kids, I feel like a lot of people think, oh, I'm interested in kids, I'm going to be a teacher. Not necessarily. If you're interested in kids, just about almost any profession, you can probably find a niche and be able to work with kids. You could be a teacher, you could be a child care worker, you can be a pediatrician, you can be an optometrist a pediatric optometrist who basically deals with kids. So I want you guys to start thinking outside the box a little bit and don't think, oh, just because I like to work with kids, I need to be a teacher. No, not necessarily. You can do a whole lot of other stuff. So think outside the box, ask them these questions, ask them, if I have an interest in kids or if I have an interest in music, what else can I do with this besides your specific area? And they may or may not know, and if they don't know, that's where you have to dig a little bit deeper and find out some information for yourself. Okay, so now that I got that out the way, let's talk about today's topic, which is dealing with personality tests that help you with that. Real quick before I start, I just want to go over a couple of things regarding jobs, some job facts. Keep in mind that most jobs arise from replacement needs instead of creating new jobs. So what I'm talking about is there are not that many jobs that are created. Most jobs come from people retiring or getting out of the workforce, and the employer has to replace those people. And I mention this because I want you to know how to correctly interpret data when you begin researching careers and things like that. When you're given a statistic about certain careers and certain professions and they're saying that there's been an increase in this related field, you have to know how to interpret that data. A real quick example I want to give to you is, say there's an article that states there's been an increase of 30% in healthcare careers. So if you heard that, what does that mean to you? Ask yourself that. I know for me personally, if they say there's been a 30% increase in healthcare careers, I immediately think of nurses or doctors. And you probably think, oh, there's a need for nurses and doctors, and that very well might not be the case. Now, this is a real statistic, and what it actually showed that most of those jobs that made up that 30% increase came from what are called home health aides. Those are people who go into people's homes and help take care of people and things like that. The next highest percentage came from physician's assistants. Followed by that was nurses, and lastly on that list was doctors. So interpret the data correctly, know what they're using when they give the statistic, so you won't think, hey, 30% increase in healthcare careers doesn't automatically mean it's been an increase in nurses and doctors. It's not the case, okay? So keep that in mind. All right, so and the job market is very unpredictable. It's unstable at this point. So always be mindful of that, because it can change quickly. Now you're probably wondering, I said personality tests. What are personality tests? Personality tests are just tests that you take that kind of give you a better idea of what career field that may be of interest to you or may be better fit for you. Now this can be good and this can be bad. And I believe on the ACT, on the ACT test that you take in high school, they actually have like a personality inventory test that kind of guides you and directs you to what careers might best suit you based on the questions that you answer. Now I like this because it does give you a starting point. However, what I don't like about it is that it's not reflective of the job market. And I am going to use myself in this example again. There is a personality test on a website called mynextmove.org, and it is a very, very good website. Shout outs to Shayla for giving me that information about that website. It allows you to answer questions and figure out what type of career might be best for you, and it tells you what your personality is. So I took this test and I scored the highest in artistic, and I'm going to go over all the different levels for you. And artistic means I like working with music, art, design, I'm creative and things like that. However, that's not reflective of the job market, and we're going to go into that a little bit further. These personality tests are based on Holland Theory. Holland Theory is just a guy who came up with these 6 different personality types. They are called realistic, investigative, artistic, social, enterprising, and conventional. And they give you an idea of what career field might be best for you. Real quick, realistic are people who are athletic or have mechanical ability. They like to work with objects, tools, plants, or animals. They like being outdoors. And they prefer these things instead of working with people or with ideas. Now, investigative people, these are the people who like to solve problems. They like working with ideas as opposed to people, and they like highly structured settings. The next one is artistic, which was what I scored highest in. These people are innovative, have intuitional abilities. They like working in unstructured situations. They like using their creativity and imagination, and they prefer working with self-expressive ideas. The other category is social. These people like working with people. They like to help, inform, teach, train people. They want to help people better themselves, live up to their potential. And they prefer to solve problems through discussion. The other category is enterprising. These people like to work with people as well, but they like to influence, persuade, lead, and manage people. They demonstrate strong leadership skills. They dislike details. And the last type is conventional. These people like to work with data, like clerical, and they have clerical and numerical abilities. And they enjoy details and following through on others' instructions. They prefer a structured situation or a structured working environment. So those are the different types, 6 different types of personality tests that you can fall into when you take these personality tests. However, I want to show you something. This is, let's see if I can get it to focus. Alright, that is a picture of the actual job description from Holland's types. You see that little 1% right there? That 1% of the job market is for artistic people. Now, the large pieces of the pie, and I'm going to put this down so I can see better. 30% of people are realistic, or excuse me, not 30% of people. 30% of the job market is made up of realistic jobs. The other 30% is made up of enterprising jobs. Now, the next highest is 16%, which is the social, followed by 15%, which is the conventional. 8% is for investigative, and like I said, that little 1%, me, would be the artistic. That's 1% of the job market is artistic. So that's why I feel like these things are very helpful, but keep in mind, whatever personality type it gives is not reflective of the actual job market for you, okay? However, you can go to that website, mynextmove.org, and it definitely helps you. What I like about this website, though, is that it gives you the salary, it gives you the job description, all that kind of helpful information. And in regards to that, it also gives you other related jobs that will fall into the category with you. And it lists the jobs in order of what they feel might be the best fit for you. So your top job, what they feel is the best fit, is listed at the top for you, okay? Also keep in mind with this, these jobs that they list are not all the jobs that are possible in the workforce. There's no way possible they could list every job, but it does give you a general idea of all the jobs, and it does make up a good majority of the jobs, but know that it's not all the jobs that are out there, okay? But I think that's a good starting point. It's sponsored by ONET, and you can go to onetonline.org, and it also has some helpful information about jobs and things like that. So that's that for the personality test for you. Real quick, I'm looking through my notes. Jobs can be divided into 3 different categories. They are professional. Usually these require a bachelor's degree. This makes up 20% of all jobs, and these are mainly what people identify as their career goals. The other part is technician. These require long-term or on-the-job training, or they require a technical certification, vocational certification, or an associate's degree, and this makes up 27% of the jobs. But get this, 52% of all jobs are what they call operative, which only require short to moderate on-the-job training. They are the majority of the jobs in the U.S. economy. So keep that in mind when you're looking at the job market. Now, also, some jobs are strictly degree-oriented. Other jobs are degree-oriented, and then they also want work experience for you. If your level of education is out of balance with the amount of experience, it's going to be hard for you to find a job. So that's why you need to, in order to get experience, you need to volunteer, you need to job shadow, and it not only helps you to get experience, it also helps you to figure out, is this job right for me? And it also helps you with networking. Networking is very important. Getting to know people in the area where you would like to ultimately have a career is going to be so beneficial for you. And that's also why it's important for you to get your goals out, figure out what you want to do so you can start acting on these things as much as possible. Another good reason to network is that it says that 70% of all jobs available at any given time are not advertised in traditional forums. So that means that most people are getting these jobs, or people are finding out about these jobs from knowing somebody, connecting with somebody. They're not always publicized on these search engines and things like that. They say most companies have 500 or fewer employees. So most of your jobs, like I said, will be encountered through networking, okay? So keep that in mind. Now, I think that is all I want to say about jobs, because I have went over my time again. I tried to hurry up and rush through everything for you. We are going to do, I believe, let's see, one more video. I'm probably going to have one more video on the choosing a career. Next video is going to be talking to athletes and the importance of athletes choosing a career outside of being an athlete, and also some more general career information. So if you know anybody in high school, middle school who's thinking about being a professional football player, basketball player, something like that, this next video is going to be for them. All right. But thank you guys once again for tuning in to my channel. My name is Sharita. My channel is called College101, and I look forward to seeing you guys again. Until that time, take care. All right.